Thank you, sir. Jalsay from Airway News. A couple of days ago, on the arrest of Imran Khan, you said there are cases that are so obviously unfounded that the United States believe it should say something about the matter, and the U.S. has not made that determination in this case. So what is it in Khan's case that makes you think it is not unfounded? What criteria do you use to make that determination if it is a founded or unfounded case?
I will just say that we continue to believe that these are matters for the Pakistani people to decide. Our bottom line principle is that we continue to call for the respect of democratic principles, human rights, and the rule of law in Pakistan, as we do around the world. Yes, it's a report reported to be a Pakistani document. I can't speak to whether it is an actual Pakistani document or not. Just simply don't know. With respect to the comments that were reported, I'm not going to speak to private diplomatic exchanges, other than to say that even if those comments were accurate as reported, they in no way show the United States taking a position on who the leader of Pakistan ought to be. We expressed concern privately to the government of Pakistan, as we expressed concern publicly about the visit of then Prime Minister Khan to Moscow on the very day of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We made that concern quite clear, but as the former Pakistani ambassador to the United States himself has stated, the allegations that the United States has interfered in internal decisions about the leadership of Pakistan are false. As we've stated, they're false. They've always been false, and they remain false.
Just to pursue that briefly, I guess the money quote in that was saying that Pakistan would, or that Imran Khan personally would have continued isolation because of his visit to Moscow. Is that, can you explain that in terms of, I mean, if we take that as given that that was an accurate comment, what that meant?
So without stipulating whether it's an accurate or comment or not, if you take all of the comments in context that were reported in that purported cable, I think what they show is the United States government expressing concern about the policy choices that the Prime Minister was taking. It is not in any way the United States government expressing a preference on who the leadership of Pakistan ought to be.
Well, look, Matt, just you can go. I think what I'm hearing is that essentially the substance of this report and the purported Pakistani cable back to Islamabad is accurate, but you're saying that it is not the U.S. saying that Prime Minister Khan, then Prime Minister Khan, should leave office. Is that correct?
Close-ish. I cannot speak to the veracity. Close-ish. Then I'll explain what I mean.
I'll explain what I mean by close-ish. That's a diplomatic term.
Exactly. I'll explain what I mean by that, which is I cannot speak to the veracity of this document.
Okay.
What I can let me just finish. What I can say, let's even if those comments were all 100% accurate as reported, which I do not know them to be, they do not in any way show a representative of the State Department taking a position on who the leadership. They're commenting on.
The Pakistani ambassador Masood Khan called on the U.S. to engage more closely with Pakistan as it continues to grapple with a host of threats, including last week's suicide bombing that killed at least 63 people. How can U.S. can help Pakistan counter the ongoing terrorism threat to the region that threatens both U.S. economic and security interests in the region?
So we deeply value our relationship with Pakistan, including our relationship with respect to counterterrorism. We have supported Pakistan through a number of pieces of assistance to help with counterterrorism, with other law enforcement activities, and we'll continue to do so.
So one last question, if you allow me. What is the U.S. role in tamping down terrorism in the region after 20 years of war in Afghanistan?
I'll just say, as I said, we continue to support Pakistan's counterterrorism operations. Go ahead. Say next.
Thank you so much. We have seen ups and downs in U.S.-Pakistan relation in recent past. What kind of confidence-building measures are being taken to avoid mistrust between these two countries? My second question is, there is upcoming elections in Pakistan. We already spoke a few days ago. Will U.S. sending independent observer to monitor the general elections in Pakistan?
I'm not aware if a decision's been made with respect to sending observers. With respect to your first question, we will continue to engage directly with the Pakistani government, as we do at a number of different levels, and we will continue to engage in people-to-people contacts with Pakistan, who we consider a close partner.